Hello there, Sagittarius. This is Sherry Simpson coming to you. It is February 25th, I think. These were supposed to be mid-February readings, but I'm just called to do readings when I'm called to do readings, so I have a feeling that this reading will get you through until around the 13th of March. So I was ruminating in your energy, Sagittarius, before I turned the video on, and I was thinking about a couple of things. First, I want to commend you on how heart-centered you are, because I think that you don't give yourself enough credit in this department. You tend to be a sign who you really enjoy freedom, and many of you are pretty psychic. But you tend to be the ones who sort of get in and get your hands dirty, and I don't necessarily mean playing in the dirt, but I mean if there are things to do in society where you can really help people, but you actually have to get into the trenches in order to help people, then that would be you. So I want you to give yourself a pat on the back for doing that, because it's just something that you do. And I don't know if you actually stand in front of the mirror at all and say, what I do really helps people, and what I do is important, and not everyone would want to do it. So I want you to just celebrate that, especially as we are coming up to this March full moon. Another thing I want to mention about the March full moon is it is going to be a really big sort of energy period where we are feeling. I actually haven't been sleeping well since the last full moon, which happened at the end of January, probably about a week before that. So we're moving into another month in March where we have two full moons again, and the energy is going to be really high. This month is going to be more so about health, and more so about the body, and more so about intuition. And it's almost like we have a little triangle going on with those things about how we are connecting the dots with our health and with our body and with our intuition. So if you get weird ahas and weird intuition about things to eat that you wouldn't normally eat, or ways to exercise you wouldn't normally exercise, or when to sleep in or when to wake up, or any of that kind of thing, I want you to just heed that information and follow it as best you can, because we're getting like health and healing and body and like human routine sort of guidance over the next month. And you have a tendency, so I don't know if you actually noticed, but my nails really need to be redone. And I didn't do them before this video because it's sort of a Sagittarius thing for you to take care of everyone else and then be like, oh, I forgot to do this for me. And so I wanted to point that out, that you are just as important as everyone you take care of. And that's why I wanted you to celebrate yourself. And other people may not be actually telling you that they're proud of you and that they're glad that you do all of these things that you do. And you don't necessarily tell yourself that either. So I want you to pat yourself on the back and celebrate that you do all of these magical things that are just sort of like, yeah, I do that. So as we're moving into a full moons have that celebration energy. So I want you to think about celebrating yourself as we get towards March 1st, which is just in a few days here. So allow yourself to look yourself in the eye and say, you know what, not everyone wants to do with what I do, and I celebrate myself for that. Kudos. And the interesting thing about that I've noticed with people is that if you look into your right eye, it's quite a different energy than if you look into your left eye and say the same things. So play with that a little bit over the next couple of weeks, and say good things to yourself and celebrate all that you do that not everyone on the planet would want to do. So my name is Sherry Simpson. I'm a transformational life coach. I do some readings that help people heal stuff from the past and through past generations and through like old karma and old childhood things and things like that. I also do medical intuition, so sometimes I can feel into people's bodies when I am working with them and things come up, and a lot of times things that come up are actually related to childhood or past life or energy or emotions that are being held in the body and stuck. So I am interested in this next month because March is going to be one of those months where those things are actually going to be heightened. And so it'll be interesting to see how we feel at the end of this month. So pay attention to your body and what it's telling you. So what I'm going to do for you today is 4 card pulls. I like to see people in a way that we have a physical body, that we have a mental body where our thoughts and beliefs are stored in that 4th dimension that's outside of reality as we know it in the 3rd dimension. So we know we have thoughts, but we can't grab them. They're just those bubbles above our head like cartoons. And we know we have emotions, so we actually have an emotional body where we feel our emotions, and that's how we actually vibrate out to the universe what it is that we want back. So making sure that you're stepping into that place of celebrating yourself and of saying, like, kudos for that, because how you feel about what you do is what you're going to attract. So if you have been feeling any resentment or any obligation or any guilt about what it is that you're doing, and you're not necessarily feeling that you're getting that back, or that you've been feeling sort of stuck in your ways, and that you really are a freedom-seeking sign. So if you've been feeling that way, then allow yourself to feel that you have more freedom, because the universe is going to bring you back that freedom. So I'm going to pull a card on that, and then I'm going to pull a 4th card based on just spiritual guidance for the next 2 to 3 weeks and see what that brings in. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any comments or questions about it, then you can find my contact information and my website in the description. Another thing that I have going on, and I didn't realize the energy around this moon ahead of time when I booked it, and I didn't realize it was so tied into intuition and health. But starting this week on March 1st, I have a 6-week Heal Your Body program that ties in all 4 of the bodies, like I just mentioned, and helps people to connect. Let's see what the body is saying. Reach out. All right, so your body is likely not asking for help. So often, and that may be like what my nails look like right now, that you're just doing everything for everyone else, and maybe you're sort of like Gemini in this way, where what you do for other people, you sort of expect to come back to you, but you're not asking. Or maybe there are things that you really want help with, but you think other people are too busy. Or maybe you think that it's just something that you do, so you're going to continue doing it. Well, if you don't help, or if you don't ask for help, then the help isn't going to come to you. So maybe that's one of those things as this energy shifts, and as you move into this health month and this intuition month and this connection to your body month, is that it's actually time for you to reach out to people in a different way. And I get the sense from this card that it's going to take a little bit of confidence on your part, because there's so much yellow in this card, and that has to do with that personal power and that empowerment chakra, the 3rd one that's underneath your rib cage, about you actually checking in with your confidence and what it is that you're confident asking for from other people. So you actually need to physically ask people to help you if it's something that you need or want. And if you feel bad helping people, then check in with that. Why am I feeling bad that I'm asking for help? Like, am I just expecting it? Am I thinking that other people are too busy? Am I thinking that I'll bore other people? Like, we'll check into those emotions and see whether you're just sort of making it up, or whether you don't actually want to impinge on other people's freedom, because you're such a freedom-seeking sign that maybe you don't want to ask. And basically what this card makes me think is, if you don't ask, you can't receive. And She's looking into the past, which makes me think that maybe you've asked for people to give a helping hand in the past and they've given you a bunch of excuses. It doesn't mean that they're going to give you the same excuses now. It was just timing, possibly, about you needing to do things on your own. So I want you to think about reaching out in a different way than you have. I feel it's connected to you physically, so maybe you actually want to connect with someone about doing something physical that you haven't done before. So maybe, you know, maybe it's time that you wanted to try like rock climbing or swimming or doing something else, but you want a friend or someone else from work or someone to go with you because you're not necessarily keen on doing it alone. And that whole like freedom seeking thing might be more fun to do with other people because you tend to be a really social, a social group. So reach out and connect in a different way this month and do things that are physical if that's what you're tied to, or not tied to. You're a freedom seeking sign. You don't want to be tied to anything. If that's what you're drawn to ask for or drawn to do, then don't place your expectation or what you think will come out of reaching out with other people on what was. Allow yourself to connect into that empowered place and ask for help in a different way. And because we have a tendency to get what we think we will get, or get what it is that we expect, or get the emotion, I want you to step into the emotion first, and we'll see what kind of cards come up for that. But I want you to step into the emotion of already understanding that you're going to receive what you want and what emotion that's going to bring to you before you even ask. So with the universe and with asking, the universe vibrates and brings you things. I always see the universe like a puppy. So this puppy doesn't understand what you're saying, and it doesn't understand hand commands. It only understands emotion. So if you're going to reach out to someone and ask for help, then you can't be feeling, oh, but you're not going to help me anyway because you're going to be too busy. Because once you step into that place that people are too busy for you, and that's the emotion that you feel, then that's what you're going to get back. So allow yourself to reach out in a different way, to be empowered, to step into the emotion that if I'm asking from a place of let's go have fun, and I'm asking from a place of let's go try something new because the freedom seeker in me wants to do that right now, then set that expectation, set that intention, set that energy about yourself before you actually ask someone to connect with you and do that. So let's see, the next one that I'm going to call through for you is about mental patterns and beliefs. So we'll see if something needs to shift. We'll see if your mental patterns are either holding you stuck or if they are going to help propel you forward. So let's see what card is going to come through for you. I'm having this weird tendency at the moment that I want to hold my breath, and it's like stuck in this position, which would be, probably around like your stomach and your small intestine. So I want to check in with you at the moment to see if you are digesting things on a physical nature, because that's what we were just talking about, is that physical card. But I also want to check in with you to see if you are digesting things emotionally and mentally and spiritually as well. So if there are things going on at work, are you stuck in that? Because I'm going to pull the emotional or the mental card next. Are you stuck in a mental place about that and not digesting things that are happening around you? Because you tend to be one of those signs that jumps into the trenches, and you're in social services, and you're in police work, and you're in helping people, and you're in connecting people, and you're really like emotionally and mentally connected. You may have a tendency to be storing all of these things and have mental beliefs and patterns about it, and you're actually not allowing yourself to digest the things that are going on around you. Or because you're connected with so many people, you're actually trying to digest other people's stuff. So I want you to check in with your digestion and see what is going on there, because that was just a sticky thing that came up for me that wasn't mine. So I assumed somebody needed to hear that. Allowing yourself. Okay, so let's see. A couple of cards just popped out, and we're going to go through and see. I am going to ask my trusty pendulum, that I often do this just to see if all three of these, so are all three of these related to, yes they are. So all three of these cards are related to your mental beliefs and your thoughts. So what I believe is that the thoughts that you keep thinking become your beliefs, and then that is actually what you believe about the reality that goes around, along and around, like around you and about you, and that's what your truths are. So because you tend to be a sign that gets into the trenches, and you're probably seeing people get shot, and you're seeing people living underneath the poverty level, and you're seeing all of these things go on around you because you're very into the social part of life and the social part of earth and the social part of community and helping in that way, that you're not digesting everything, but you have a tendency to set up beliefs that are about what goes on around you and what you're seeing and thinking about it, which could be true for other people but not true for you, because their reality is not necessarily your reality. And so if you are connecting with people who are, say, underneath the poverty level, like 7 days a week, then you may have a tendency to believe that that's how the majority of the population live. And so that would be out of perspective, because based on probability, then you're only looking at a certain percentage of the population. So I want you to check into what your thoughts and beliefs are about who is around you, and also check into your thoughts and beliefs about whether the old thought patterns and beliefs are actually serving you. So when it comes to your thoughts and beliefs, the first card that came up for you was flow. So this gentleman has one hand over his heart, so he's actually connecting in with his heart. He's very connected into his creativity and his personal power, because creativity is that orange sash color. His personal power is the yellow, and this circular stuff is about connecting all of those things together and doing it from a heart-centered way. And he's standing in water, and the way that his hand is, the way that I read this card, is that he has his hand from the past on his heart, and he has a hand from into the future in the water, and he's like drawing circles around him. And I get this sense that you want to create more flow, and that you believe that you can do this as part of your job. This is coming up for me as part of what you do for people from a work sense, but your work is not just about your work. Your work is about society. And what you believe that you can do with society is use your heart and use your ability to make things flow, to make society better. And I totally agree with you. You have the power to do that. And let's get some clarity on that. So the clarity on that is the 7 card, which is about choosing your battles. So the interesting thing about this card is that there is a gentleman that is standing with his feet very wide apart, which makes me think he's not necessarily balanced. And if you look at where he's standing, where's my finger? He is standing way closer to that personal power, confidence part of him than he is to the heart-centered part and the throat center. So I work with the chakras with people, and I believe that energy flows in both directions through the body. And so with his hands and with his standing with his feet apart, I get the sense that he really is trying to check in, him or her. I almost get the sense that he is actually a she, connecting into his female personal power, and that all of these different energies are actually bringing in like a masculine part of him or her. So what I see, the energy flows through directions, which I was starting with here, and I believe in the chakra system, and I believe that the main 7 chakras have different areas in the body and rainbow colors that go from the root all the way up to the crown, and that energy needs to flow in both directions. So I connect into those colors when I read the cards, and I connect into whether they're male or female, where their hearts are, whether the cards are upside down, whether they have a hand over the heart, which way they're facing, and sort of the looks on their faces, and all sorts of things. So in this particular card, this person that makes me think is the female energy, only because when I look at it, he or she is wearing a dress or a warrior suit that is making me think, as I look more and more at the picture, that it's the female essence, but not necessarily feeling balanced, because the person standing in this card has very wide stance, which often makes me think you're feeling off balance for some reason. But the person who is feeling off balance is standing way more, where's my finger, is standing way more towards the I need confidence, I need personal power, I need empowerment, and looking farther at the heart-centeredness. So the green color is about our heart. It's about what we give to other people. And I was just talking about this at the beginning, because you are a very heart-centered sign. You are very into giving to other people, so much so that you don't necessarily give to yourself. So I want you to check into, and this is about choosing your battles. So I get the sense that it's choosing your battles within you, whether you are battling doing your own self-care, or battling doing things on your own, and also outside of yourself. So with your community, with the higher ups, with maybe like the masculine side, the logical side, the dominant side of, and I don't necessarily get that these are actual people, but it's more about like the society around you, or the committee around you. So maybe you work in environments, there's a lot of work stuff coming up. There's maybe you work in an environment where there's committees above you that sort of have your hands tied, and you're feeling off balance because there's things that you really want to do where you're trying to step into your personal power, but this committee around you is almost like, are you sure we can do that? If you see like the size difference between how little you look and how big the people around you look, it's almost like you want to say to the committee, but you're feeling off balance doing this, like, this is what we need to do, and they're saying, are you sure? And it's literally tying in empowerment, which you are standing in the light of the yellow, which makes me think that in order for you to be more balanced, you have to step into that place of empowerment more so, that you're already very heart-centered. And this is about the throat chakra. This is about you speaking your truth. It's about speaking to this committee or community. And because it says choose your battles, I get the sense that in order to be in flow, you definitely need to choose which battles are more important and which aren't. And I almost get the sense from this that if you're looking at the past in order to inform what kind of flow you think you can create and what kind of battles you mentally believe that you are capable of winning or capable of proving your point to, then that may lead you astray. And so I get the sense that reaching out is almost also reaching out of your comfort zone. And that may be why you're actually standing with your feet wide apart. Are you nervous about bringing your battles to a community of people around you? And in order to actually succeed at making the changes in society and at work that you want to make, can you do it with more creativity, with more confidence, from a heart-centered place, but speaking maybe in a different way? So reaching out to people in a way that is different than the way that you did it in the past, because she's definitely looking back at the past, and I get the sense that she's almost looking back at the past like, well, it didn't work, so I really don't know if I want to do this that way. So don't. Let's see what your third card about that says. Move. So this makes me think that in order to actually get things to flow, in order to choose your battles and to feel more balanced and to connect into that personal power and to feel the heart-centeredness and to speak your truth and hear your truth and speak up, that you actually need to move in a different direction. So reaching out in a different way. Yes, it's still going to connect you with community, with people from a heart-centered place, but it's actually a different kind of movement. And I also get the sense for some of you that is about you physically moving your body in a different way and having a sense of thinking and believing that it's going to be just like it was last time. So moving in a way where you don't want to go work out at the gym, and you don't want to do this, and you don't want to do that. Can also be you moving differently. Can you, like I said, can you go to the swimming pool? For some reason, water is coming up. Like being in flow makes me think about water. Can you move differently? And I get the sense that all of these things, even though they don't seem connected, are actually connected. So in order for you to feel more balanced and to make a difference in the community and at work and make the connections that you want to make, you need to reach out differently within yourself and around you to your community. But you also need to move yourself physically, and I don't necessarily see this as being you actually getting up and moving houses. I see this more as you physically moving your body, or maybe offices. Perhaps you're moving offices and this is connected to that. But this is about moving differently in a heart-centered way, and this is like a self-care heart-centered way. And the more that you actually reach out to people and choose your battles and allow yourself to flow, the more you're actually going to want to move yourself. And the more that you want to move yourself and do things differently, the more that all of this stuff connected to community and work is going to flow and move as well. So if you're stagnant in your exercise plan, in your eating plan, in your maybe this is this reaching out is that you've been hibernating over the winter and you haven't been moving, and maybe you haven't been feeling balanced and whatnot. But as soon as you get into this place of moving your body and moving your thoughts and moving your beliefs and moving and shifting everything, that everything is going to change. So your physical body, your physical patterns, the community around you, the things that were stuck in the past because you reached out in the past and it didn't work out, all of those are going to be connected, and all of those are relating to movement and allowing things to flow differently. I don't know if that all makes sense. I like that both of these are 7s. In numerology, 3, what this card is about bringing in a third person. So number 1 is you having an idea, you working independently, you full speed ahead and going with things. If we move in from a 2 from a 1, the 2s are more about, okay, I'm ready to bring this idea or this concept to another person. I'm ready to bring a partner in. I'm ready to bring in a relationship. I'm ready to communicate with someone else, not just work alone. When we think about a 3, it's actually reaching out to a bigger group. It's reaching out to a close-knit group, because there tends to be only 3. If you were in a relationship with you and a partner, then 3 would be about bringing in a baby. But it's not necessarily about birthing babies. It's about birthing things on just a little bit of a bigger scale. And so if you and a partner at work are actually thinking about doing something, then this may be about bringing another person into a community or into a group. So threes are about adding another person. And if we think about one, that is about independence, but one is about full speed ahead. One is about birthing the idea. One is about having that instant flow of manifestation. The zero is that things that come around go around, and go around come around, right? It's that almost like projection um, of insight, um, of connectedness from source to human to source again, where it's like a booster to the one. So increasing your flow, and then we bring the sevens in. So if we go all the way to seven, seven is about things being sort of stagnant and bringing stuff in from above, from that logical divine place, and taking them into a lightning bolt down into human stuff. And human stuff as in like manifesting it quickly into your human reality. So I like even the numbers with this, because choosing your battles can be about I'm reading into this a little, about really deciding what it is that you want to manifest. And then once you've decided from that logical perspective that this is what you want, then that is when you go to the committee and say, this is what we need. I've been ruminating on this. I've been thinking about it. I've been playing with it. I've been in flow about it. I've been really deciding. I've been really tapping into my creativity. I've been really tapping into what it is that our community needs. And so you've done that sort of like logical thing where you're pulling in the logic from above. And now it's like, I'm choosing this battle because this is what our community needs. So let's bring it to them. Like, let's do it now. And this is sort of the same thing, but this is more connected in, I'm seeing, of you. So yeah, maybe you've been stagnant, maybe you've been hibernating, and now you're at that point where it's time for me to move. And once I move, I know that everything shifts because everything's connected. So as soon as you get into that place of let's move, let's do this, then things are going to shift. And I know that that's not necessarily what these cards, how everyone would read them, but that's what's coming in for you. So that's how I'm reading them for you. The next card I want to pull is about emotion. So let's see emotionally where you are in connection to you physically moving your body, as well as the thoughts and beliefs that are going on around you bringing these things to a committee and to community in a different way, and allowing some movement and some shifts around making change and celebrating that change. You have the energy to do it this month, and I get the sense that the community is going to hear you differently than that they have in the past. But I do get the sense that the change actually starts, yeah, that makes the hair on my arm stand up. The change actually has to start with you. So if you want the community around you to change, and if you want this like board of directors or whoever it is that you're connecting with to actually change too, and to see you differently, then you need to present something differently. I love this. So I was just talking about how the 7 is about quickly manifesting things into physical form, because you've been thinking about it, and you've been maybe hibernating, and maybe you're ready to bring it to the community, and maybe you're ready to get into flow, and you're ready to do things differently. Okay, well, the emotional card is manifest. So this makes me think that once you tie all of these things in together, once you're ready to stop looking at the past as though this didn't happen, and you're ready to reach out to a bigger group, and you're ready to make some changes within yourself physically, as well as how you are working at work, and work, again, is not work to you. Work is like community. Then you're going to step into that place of flow. You're going to choose your battle because you're in flow. You're going to have the confidence and the heart centeredness to step in and say, look at community, this is what we need to do. And we need to do it lightning fast. And we need to get a move on. And once you've gotten a move on physically, this is going to happen really quickly. And it's going to happen from a heart-centered place. It's going to connect the community in a way that probably hasn't happened yet. And it's going to do it in a really cool, heart-centered way. And so that idea of movement and what I was just explaining about that lightning fast manifestation. So the manifest card is about things happening lightning fast. And so it's as though once you do all of those things that I was just mentioning, it's as though you're going to be this like this dude with a like magic hat that has this magic trunk where you just pull magic out of a hat like a rabbit, and things are going to start manifesting really, really quickly. It means that your body is actually going to start changing very quickly if that's what your intention is. It means that your health is going to enhance really quickly if that's something that you're focusing on and intending. It means that the battle that you have chosen to go to the higher ups is going to be in flow, and it's going to manifest really quickly. So I get the sense that you are going to be celebrating this month. And I get the sense that the March 1st energy is sort of a culmination in the decision to make things manifest and to like go through and celebrate that you've chosen the battle. But it'll be towards the middle of the month where more change happens. And I was, for some reason, catching like the 13th for you. And so the 13th is like a 4 energy when you add 3 and 1 together. And that's about like a really like logical perspective. And that's probably, I haven't checked the dates, but it's probably around where the new moon is, about new beginnings. So I almost get the sense that this manifestation card is actually going to be like sort of fly by the seat of your pants energy, that the flow and the choosing your battles and the movement and the reaching out that happens for you over the beginning of the 3 weeks that are coming. This is actually going to culminate for you at the end of March. But through that time, you're actually going to see things that you're concentrating and focusing on manifest really quickly, which means that the things that you are thinking about, the battles that you are choosing, the flow that you want to be in, the people that you want to reach out to, the state of confidence that you want to be in, all has to be what you want to manifest quickly, because the universe doesn't care what you manifest. The puppy dog that you're training has no judgment. It doesn't care whether you're trying to manifest, a rainy day or a sunny day, or whether you're trying to manifest coal or diamonds. It just resonates with what your emotions are. So if your emotions, which is this card, is about this day's gonna suck, it's gonna be rainy, and they're gonna say no, then you're gonna manifest that really quickly, because that's what your emotions are matching out to the universe. So your puppy is going to be like, okay, you want more things that suck, and you want more rainy days, and you want more things to come back to you that you don't really want. And so if you're sending out sarcasm, be careful with that, because you're going to manifest really quickly how you feel. And so can you stand into a place of, you know what, working out in my past has not worked for me, so I'm just going to go play, but I'm going to play in a way that moves my body. So I'm actually going to connect with people around me and say, hey, let's go play. Let's go let's go play some board games, or let's go to one of those, trampoline places, or something totally free and totally different, because that'll be fun for exercise. And can you choose to be in flow and be creative at work, and then have yourself manifest more freedom and more creativity, because that's what you're intending? And can you choose your battles with the higher ups from a place of heart centeredness and from a place of of I'm confident that this is going to work this time. And create that movement in that shift, because that's what you're going to manifest. So emotionally, you want your puppy to bring you the things that you want, which means that your focus and your emotions need to be on the things that you want and not whatever's happened in the past. So let's ditch the past. It's a brand new day. You're going to start the brand new day whenever you see this video, and you're going to step into that place of it's time to reach out. It's time to choose my battles. It's time to communicate with the higher ups in a different way so that we can create the flow and connection and community that I know you want to make. Let's move on this crap and let's manifest it now. That's the information I'm getting for you, which is awesome. I love it. All right, so I'm going to see if there's any more guidance for you this month from Spirit, what they are saying. Again, I'm getting the sense that you need a kudos, that what you do, even though you're just like, it's my job, it's what I do. What you do, Sag, is like a magical thing. It's you get in the trenches and you actually get in to do those things that not all the signs want to do. Ooh, this is interesting. So the card that came through from Spirit was balance, and balance is on its head right now. So that, and this is a 5. There we go. This is a 5 if I add it together. So the 14 is a card about balancing the masculine and the feminine, which is interesting because if we pull this card back out, this made me think of a feminine actually talking to a board that feels masculine. And I don't necessarily think that everyone watching this is going to be a female, but we all have a feminine and a masculine side. And that's kind of what this says. Even though this is technically like the Lover's card and about people coming together, I get the sense that this is more so about the energy being masculine and feminine and it having to be balanced, because otherwise you're standing on your head. Your balance is not there. So I see this in 2 ways. I see that you need to step into your feminine side in a way that you're nourishing and you're spiritual and you're connected and you're emotional, but you're also balancing that logical sense, that sense of I can be empowered, of I can be masculine, of I can think through this. So you need to think and feel, and perhaps you haven't been doing that, and you're not going to find balance within yourself when it comes to your health, when it comes to your body, when it comes to your intuition, unless you are allowing yourself to balance that masculine and feminine side within you. And I also get the sense that this is connected to you balancing your health and your intuition. And you, remember, I referenced my nails and actually putting myself last. So this is also a reminder to you to balance you and what you need. So there's a lot of self-love in here. That pink is about that self-love. So balancing what you need, balancing your self-care, balancing asking for things that you want, because if you don't, then your health isn't going to expand and your community is not going to be in that place. So can you balance what it is that you're doing at work with what it is that you're doing for you? Can you balance what it is that you're giving and what you're receiving? Can you balance what it is that you're connecting with on all levels this month? And you're going to feel super energized and you're going to feel like you want to give to everyone else, but you need to balance you as well. And you need to ask for it. So this blue is literally about speaking up and speaking out and reaching out to other people when you need help, and reaching out to other people if you want somebody else to hold you accountable in order to go work out or to go play in the pool or to do other things with. So in order to reach all of these lofty goals and whatnot that you have, and this idea that this thing that you want to do, this this change or transformation that you're capable of making, you're going to be standing on your head if you're not balancing yourself with work and balancing your feminine, masculine, and balancing your giving and receiving. So that was a pretty big message for you this month. I think that's all I'm going to say about it. I look forward to connecting with you soon. I know that you can do this, and I know that you're going to do it from a place of freedom, from a place of giving to others. I just want you to step into a place of giving to yourself as well, a place of doing it from a healthy, fun way, and not tying into what the past was. So if the past, like a past precedent has been set, ditch it. Train your puppy, the universe, to bring you something else. So stop looking at the past as a reference. You actually want to look towards the future about what it is that you want to create, because your current reality is the only thing that exists right now. So if you keep looking at the past, then you're going to bring that as though it's your future back to your current reality, because that's where you're looking. That's what you're assuming. If you want your current reality to be different and you want your future to be different, then you need to look that way. You need to plan that way. You need to concentrate on what that is, because that is going to become the now, because the now is all that there is. I hope that last part made sense. Basically, you want to concentrate on what feels good. You want to ditch the old thought patterns and beliefs if they don't serve you, and just keep thinking about what it is that you want to create, and allow yourself to manifest that into the physical really quickly with balance. So good luck with that. And if you want any help with it, let me know. I can do private readings, as well as some of the other stuff I mentioned at the beginning with clearing out old stuff from the past. So if you've been living Groundhog Day, then that tends to mean that your patterns are stuck in the past and you can use it as a shift. So if Groundhog Day is where you've been living and that's not what you want your future to look like, then let me know. I'll leave the details in the description. Have a fabulous 2 to 3 weeks, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Sag.